So back better than ever. Steven, I think they're ready for us. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of We Got Next. We are getting closer and closer, and I definitely start to feel it in the air a lot of the time with football season back right around the corner. With football season, that definitely comes injuries. So we'll touch on all of that. But before we get into any of that, I want to just mention that Steven and I both try to do our best with either putting out spaces or we have different podcast episodes. You can also catch them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. How do I know Apple? Because it was just easy and I was able to listen to Steven's quick slants episodes that he had. Twitter spaces are going to be on Twitter, so just look under mine at AO Shifty. But without further ado, Steven, tell us about what you've been putting out.
So Penn State started off fall camp today, which, you know, like once August hits, like my focus shifts away from my family and it goes to football until the end of November and hopefully beyond for the boys this year.
Mm-hmm.
But Penn State started off fall camp today. Um, quick slants actually, quick slants was just released at 8:30 Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tweet that out. Um, tonight's episode was or is position group breakdown for the boys this year for the squad. I put some research into it, unlike most of them, where I just wing
Mm-hmm.
it half the time or all the time. This one I put a little bit of research into, but then like halfway through the episode, I realized that Penn State has way too much talent to rank all these groups and all the criteria I used. So I just kind of conjoined everything into like a 1A, 1B group. Some groups are better off than others, but you got to go listen to it. I'll tweet it out. So that's that. I have a Q&A that I'm going to do next week. I tweeted out or sent out the text to some of the Penn State homies for questions coming up on the season. So going to do that potentially in written form as well, which I don't usually. I did it last year, so I
Mm-hmm.
might do that again. Got some good pub for that. But we'll have a quick sentence coming out next week again, and then probably not going to do much until the season starts. The week before or the week of the West Virginia game, the Thursday before, so I'll start doing more Thursday episodes. Um, and then we'll get the season it'll be here before you know it.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame game is tomorrow, which is dope. But yeah, once August hits, like it's still summer, obviously, it's still warm out, still hot, but like it's August. Like that means training camp, that means fall camp, that means football season. Preseason rankings come out. The AP Top 25 comes out next week. Penn State's probably going to be in the 6 to 10 range. I'm hoping closer to 5 than 10, but yeah, this is a different vibe now.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the hype videos come out, which is like dope.
Dog, I've been seeing a bunch of them.
All the hype videos, like the NFL. I mean, it's just different vibes. Obviously, with college to pro, all the hype videos come out for college football now. ESPN put theirs out. CBS is coming out with one soon for now the Big Ten being on CBS. So all the teams are putting out their videos. Um, media days over with. Training camps are starting for everybody. So yeah, it's just a different vibe in the air, man. Just a different vibe.
Yeah, so that's kind of been the big thing. I've even noticed it when it comes to various different teams putting out different highlight videos. You also see it within the NFL. So college football and the NFL, you get hype. It happens every single year. You get hype, then your team plays. You're like, well, shit, they're not good. Yeah, you thought the hype video was about to make them good. No, but some of them are
No,
good.
no.
But others of them, it's just like that's all you really have to end up looking forward to. I want to segue this in because you started off with college football, and I want to bring up our hot topic for today. So it seems as though, and I don't know if it's just been an Iowa thing, but I'll give a little bit of background. And I want you to dive into it since this is more of your wheelhouse. And Iowa players and Iowa State players have been, I guess, getting caught up now for making sports bets. And they were saying like 300 sports bet they made. First off, when I heard 300, I was like, damn, they must have been betting like tens of thousands. Dog, one person got caught up for like $4,400, the
Yeah.
other one for like 3,300. So you essentially are making small bets, more than likely, and they kind of added up to that. But one of the players they said played for the Denver Broncos, and then, of course, possible.
Yo, he
Huh?
might be facing years in prison.
I know.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
I sometimes I'm like, are they really gonna face the jail time? But if it happened in Iowa, I don't know Iowa rules. If it was on the East Coast, I'd be like, all right, you're
I feel
probably
like
straight.
Iowa sucks.
And that's what I'm saying. But
I
I
feel like
want
it's
you
a
to
really
dive
shitty
into
state.
it. Hey, Harrison Barnes is from there.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Actually, I think no, never mind. I thought Taylor Hansbrough was. He's not though. Yeah, it's weird, right? Harrison
Hmm.
Barnes is from Iowa.
I know. I would have never
That's
guessed something like that.
yeah, no,
But
it's like, come on, man, come on. Are you really that dumb?
mhm,
I guess these guys are just dumb. Like, do you think do they think that they're not going to get caught, or if they
that's what
put it
I
under
was
a fake
trying to.
account, which these guys did, or put it under someone else's name, which they did, like, are you not going to get caught? Like, just like Calvin Ridley and all the other guys, bro, just have someone else do it for you.
All of it. Like you don't have
You
any
don't, bro.
affiliation
There's
with it.
like it's called like they're called fall guys for a reason.
Hmm.
Like if Jay Hill playing for the Seahawks, like if it was today,
Hmm.
and he's like, "Yo, I'm thinking about placing some bets on the season," I'd be like, "All right, bro, I got you. Like
Hmm.
I got you. Like
Yes.
you don't need to be messing with that because you see what happens." And yeah, like I don't feel bad that these guys are getting caught up because like you like you get what you pay for, man. Like it's why I stopped doing really dumb shit a long time ago. Like because you know it's gonna catch up to you. You know shit's gonna catch up to you real quick, especially if you're an athlete, especially an athlete in gambling. Like I
Yes.
know it's legal in a lot of places. I know, like, I mean, it's kind of like twofold. Where on one side, like the NFL wants you to bet on it, like it wants you to bet on their games and their players, and like fantasy football is like you're betting on Saquon Barkley to have an MVP caliber season. Like you go to the tracks, you go to the empty, like it's like
Yep.
they want us to bet on their product, and we do, but their own players can't bet on themselves. So like that, like on the surface, that doesn't make sense. Like that you can't bet on yourself. Like you're not like betting on your like if you're the Falcons and the Broncos, you're not betting on. I mean, I guess you kind of are betting on your team to like, but you're betting on your team to win. You
Yeah.
know, better than your team. You're not betting on your team to lose. Like that'd be
No.
different. If like and then like these guys were fixing games, that's when you start getting into like really deep territory and like the NBA referee Donahue, whatever his name
Yeah.
is.
Him
Then
not.
you start getting that kind of stuff. But like these dudes are probably just throwing down. If you're not betting on your team or you're not betting on your players or like yourself, I feel like it should be fair game,
On it, I think so
right?
because it's not like you
Like
have insider knowledge.
right. If you're Kenny Pickett, like and you're betting on George Pickens to have over 6 catches or over 100 yards or whatever, yeah,
Yeah, that's some shit
that's
because
fucked
you
up. Or
control
like
it. Yeah.
yeah, or if like you're betting on your team to hit the plus 7.5 or minus
Hmm.
7.5, yeah, that's different. But like if you're betting on if you're Kenny Pickett, and you're betting on like the Rams to beat the Broncos, you know, cover the minus 3.5. Like that's I feel like that should be okay because you're just like every
Hmm.
other American out there.
Yeah.
Now, if you're betting like outrageous $100,000 or some shit like that, yeah, that's maybe a little bit aggressive, but you're betting a couple bucks here and there, like you do, hoping to win
Yeah.
a
I
couple
know.
bucks and
I know.
bet a couple more bucks and shit like that. I feel like it's kind of like there's some gray areas where I think they can make it black and white.
Hmm.
Just don't bet on your
Yes.
team.
No, I think that's really what it is. And what's wild, Pete Rose probably
And if
saw
you're going
somewhere.
to have somebody else do it.
That's really all it is. And you just think about Pete Rose. He over here thinking, man, y'all don't learn shit. They banned me for years, and
Yeah,
y'all
my
still want to
guys
do this
just
shit.
yep.
I can't even get half the shit I had back
Nope.
because of all that. But kind of the other thing I wanted to touch on was really quick in terms of the financing. So finance and crypto, one this weekend in the NFT world. They are having a Solana Summerfest in Nashville, Tennessee. Wanted to go to that, but I have other things I have to end up taking care of. Another thing I wanted to bring up is get this. So Walmart is going to start adding ads to their self-checkout registers. I feel as though everyone's trying to find ways to end up making
What do you
additional.
mean?
Okay, so you know how when you go to the self checkout, like you scan and it'll
Yeah.
show you how whatever you have,
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
it's candy, baby formula, whatever. So in like a corner, it's going to be an ad
Yeah.
for whatever product. So you're going to be able to pay to have an ad on the self checkout register. I I hope it's only products that they're selling. If it's, I don't know, a Beats by Dr. Dre commercial and they don't really
Wait a
have
minute. Wait a
that.
minute. Wait. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
Yeah.
So like this isn't gonna be some like Spotify or Pandora shit where like you can't play the next song until you go through the ad, right? Like if you're scanning your shit, like and you get through like the cookies and the milk and you go to scan the bread, there's gonna be a milk like a milk commercial, a milk ad that comes up. And you gotta wait to scan the bread. That shit better not happen, you know?
No, because
Could you
the
imagine?
rate of theft is gonna go through the roof.
Could
Like
you
fuck this
imagine
shit.
if
I
that
am
shit
not
happened?
waiting.
Like, no, you can't skip it. It's like a 30-second ad.
And
You can't skip that shit. Yo,
yo,
you know exactly
you
what
wait in there.
everybody else out there that is our age knows what I'm talking about.
Oh
Before
my
you had
god.
the money to spend on a $4 Pandora or
Yes.
Spotify unlimited
You just had to
membership,
wait.
bro, you at the gym and like you're really into it. You're hitting on all those songs. We've all
Yes.
been there, like the stretch of like 3 or 4 Pandora songs in a row. Then a fucking like 30-second ad comes up and you can't skip
Yep.
it.
Nope.
And
You
you're
just gotta
like,
wait.
damn, like mid set, you're like, damn, like
And
one of those dudes. But then you finally get like the $4 to be able to pay for the like the Pandora free or whatever it was.
hmm
I remember being so broke at one time when I was in college that I couldn't pay for the only expenses I had were gas, which back in the day, 2010 was or 2012 was, you know,
Those are the
$189,
two. Yeah.
$2, some shit like that. I had to pay for a gym membership, which was $25. And then I had, yeah, your boy was hitting it good. And then, and this was during the winter months when I didn't work and the golf course was closed. And then I
hmm
had a Pandora membership. Your boy was so broke, wilding
Oh,
out, spending his money, like the whatever I had left of it from the golf course on some dumb shit. Obviously, we all know what the dumb shit is.
yep.
There's two
Yep.
things.
hmm
Um, and I couldn't pay for my Pandora free. I was so broke that I couldn't afford
Oh,
the $4 payment. Your
see.
boy was so broke at one point. That was, dude, tough times, man. I don't know if you've ever been that broke, but
No, what's wild is so I think about when I was in school. So one of my friends, Rashad, he had an Xbox, and the big thing if you weren't playing Xbox, you were able to get on Netflix. And this is when Netflix you can end up getting like the 30-day free trial. They don't do that shit no more, but you can get the 30-day free trial as long as you had an email address. When I tell you every single homie on the whole floor, we just went through everybody's email address to try
yep,
and get through the whole year.
yep, yep,
30 days every single time. You just had to make sure you canceled it on like the 29th day because
yep,
they was charging your
yeah.
ass. They were going to charge you on
Yo,
that 30th
trying to
day.
cancel shit like the last second. You set an alarm for that
Exactly.
or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
I
remember those
definitely,
days.
that was our big thing that we did because he had like speaker system and everything. So we didn't care as much about the music. It was probably either Netflix or it would be in terms of the cafeteria because we had meal plans. But
Mm.
guys eat way more than girls. So we would have to like ask the ladies at the front desk, like, yo, did any of the girls end up giving extra meals for donation? Because I'll accept the donation right now.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Shit, man. I do not
Yeah.
miss being broke.
No.
Yo,
No.
that shit was tough, man.
Dog. So
And
that was one thing. I have two other quick things in the NFT world. Then I have a funny that goes into like fantasy football and like segue into sports. But first, I want to touch on Nana. If anyone plays the game The Heist, that's with the chimps and the gorillas. The orangutans are supposed to come out next week. I was listening to the Heist cast earlier today, and they said that very soon they're going to end up releasing the day of when the Heist orangutans will come out. I do have two of the heist list spots. I was supposed to get three. One group really pissed me off because I sent them like 10,500 and I was like, yo, let me know if I'm going to need to send more. When it closed, they said, oh, by the way, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get you a spot because there's one dude that sent 40,000, someone else sent 15,000. I was like, yo, can I just send more? They're like, no, that's not how it works. So I'm at like $108 because the idiots didn't tell me just to send more to their DAO. But thankfully, I have two more from another group. So I'm looking forward to that. Something else, D Gods is supposed to be doing some stuff on August 9th. So pay attention to what's going to happen there. Manifest Labs, they are going to come out with some sort of video this weekend at Solana Summerfest. So Mr. Mint, I'm excited to see what video he's coming out with. That's going to be something exciting as well. The final thing is Tensor is supposed to be coming out with their NFT soon. So pay attention to that. And last but not least, Solana Breakpoint or aka Breakpoint is happening in October. So October 30th/31st to November 3rd. That's going to be in Amsterdam. you can end up getting discounts or anything like that off of the Solana Breakpoint website. That is something I'm trying to get to. I have to do a hell of a lot of work for the month of August to end up getting out there. I looked at how much flights are. Flights are like $1,500. I looked at hotels. Hotels are going to be like $700. And I said, I need a new laptop. So which is going to be more important?
Yeah, your boy needs a laptop for
I
anything,
know.
bro. Get with the
Exactly.
times.
So so
Sheesh.
that's the big thing that I've been doing. And then two people I bring up sometimes. So Easy Eats Bodega and then Sunny. Some people know him as Airmont, some people know him as Sunny Monts, but they were doing essentially 21 or King of the Court down in Miami this weekend because, of course, everyone knows D Gods owns the Killer Threes. The Killer Threes are a basketball team in the Big Three tournament, Ice Cube's league, and they were in Miami. So they were chilling, playing basketball over there. This week they're going to be in Charlotte. I'm pissed because I have stuff to do this week, and I would have gone there as well to end up balling with them. And I would have had two different events, but I decided to be a good friend, help people move, celebrate people's birthdays. Instead of being at these different events that I could have been in Charlotte or I could have been in Nashville with the NFT homies. But instead, I got to be right around the corner.
That's the real
So,
homies, I guess.
yeah, the real homies.
The real homies.
So those are the big things. My goal is I'm gonna try and flip some stuff to end up turning some money. So October I can be in Amsterdam with the homies because they're saying they're gonna do a King of Amsterdam, and that's something I want to participate in. Now let's swing this over into the sports world and start with fantasy football. So I have homies in different places when it comes to different leagues, and I'm in one of the leagues. We were not about to pay like a small buy-in because of the fact we all went to like grad school, so we know how much everyone makes. And they were like, yo, we're gonna do $75. I was like, all right, bet. Like you do 75 in your league, but you got to join my league as well. So me and Demetri are like, all right, bet, that's fine. This year he hits the group chat and says, hey, due to inflation, we're increasing that to
Yo,
$85.
my man, I didn't know if you were going to talk about this, but I'm glad you did.
And I have
Okay.
never heard some shit like that before.
Yo, it's fantasy football, bro. It has no bearing on
I
your
know.
life. If
No.
you can't, this is that shit about just talk about being broke. If you can't afford fantasy football, like you should not be doing fantasy football.
Yeah.
Like if you can't do it, if you can't just join one of those free ESPN leagues, like we all do, create 6, 7, 8 teams, like the brackets.
Yep.
Like just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Like it's too stressful. That's why I try and I tell you I'll pay you when I pay you.
Yeah.
Your boy's good for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have so many other things. It's just, and also it's so time consuming. I don't know about you. Well, I know about you because you don't have a wife and kids, but it's just some shit that like I honestly just forget about it.
Yeah.
Like I wake up on Sunday morning, and then like 12 o'clock hits, 12:30. We're feeding the kids lunch or whatever, and I'm like, shit.
You gotta check
and it's like I don't spend any time. If I do, maybe like in the morning when I'm taking a shit, but like that's about it. And that's like I still forget about it. Then like come 12:58, I'm like I'm scrambling, trying to find maybe a kicker or trying to find some like he had one of those random weeks where like all your wide receivers on a bye week or something. Yep. It's just too stressful now, man. I got kicked out of a league. I tell you that.
How the hell you get kicked out of a league? How do you get kicked out of a league?
Yo, I got kicked out of a dynasty league. Right, which is hard to do. That's tough.
Clearly.
I got kicked out of a dynasty league. For those who don't know what a dynasty league is, I do it. They did it on Sleeper, the Sleeper app for fantasy football. You can do other fantasy sports on there.
Yeah.
But I was in it for 2 years, and a dynasty league is like
it didn't last that long.
Yeah. I didn't even get a second contract. A dynasty league is you go through a draft. Like if you go through a fantasy draft tomorrow, the players you have are the players you have. Like you can trade players obviously and do all that stuff, and there's another draft. But typically the one we were in, the next draft you have is all for rookies. You can trade picks and you can trade players and all that kind of good stuff. And it's like fantasy, but you keep the same team year after year. You add rookies and drop players and do all that kind of stuff. I just never did it. I would miss draft picks, so I'd get the auto draft. Like I never would respond to trade requests. And all the dudes that I did it with were guys who were younger than me, had no kids, no wives at the time. Yeah. Some of them are married now, and I didn't even know them. I knew two of the kids because they were brothers, and they lived in my neighborhood and they were friends with, whatever. But like outside of that, I didn't like know any of the kids. And it was $25 a year. So I'm just wasting 25 bones because your boy's obviously not going to win. I think the best year I had, I finished like third. And that was on some like lucky shit. Like the first year
Yeah.
I did it when I was actually paying attention for the most part. But like year
Mhm.
two, no. And then my boy texted me and he knows like I wouldn't care because I just got so many other things going on. And these guys take it so much seriously than I do.
Mhm.
But he's like, yo, dude, send me like a lengthy text. Lengthy. I had to scroll a couple times to read the whole text. He said, like, yo, dude, like, don't want to be that guy, but like we voted like unanimously to kick you out of the league for like too much inactivity and just
You
like
got voted out.
yo, it was like some survivor shit. The weakest link, I got gone. So tribe has spoken. So I deleted my app, and all that stuff. And he's like, no hard feelings. I'm like, bro, I could give two shits less. I
Yeah.
was like, honestly, like, I'm surprised it took you guys this long.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I got your boy get kicked out of the fantasy league. Fun fact, which is like, again, that is extremely difficult to do.
Yeah.
Like, you really just got to not do it to get kicked out.
Clearly.
Clearly, like I am prime example. I didn't do shit and I got kicked out. I wish I would have
So
saved that text because it was good. So yeah, not to be that guy, but like he voted to kick you out.
they voted to kick you
Voted.
out.
I can only imagine the group chats like, all in favor of kicking Steven out. Say aye.
I
Immediate aye.
I know.
Yeah.
Yo.
He thought for sure that shit was gonna hurt my feelings. I was like, all right, bro,
No, it
say
didn't.
less. That's one less thing I gotta worry about.
He really could have said, all right, we both know you're gonna be out.
Yeah,
No,
like
but
I
he
mean, he
said,
could have phrased it so much differently. He could have phrased it so much differently, but he's like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm like, bet, say less, dude. That's I'm happy you kicked me out. That's one less thing I gotta worry about.
So I want to segue into the other side of sports within football. And I just want a quick thought on this because training camp is here. And of course, one of the big topics has been the battle between Pickens and Porter Jr. What are your thoughts with these different battles you see in training camp, and what it bears when it comes to the NFL? So before you answer that, the other part is I want to go to another team that is in the North as well. And that is the way they're saying Zay Flowers is shitting on the defenders on the Ravens. So what are your thoughts on both of them before we get into the AFC South?
So start with the Ravens. Like I, I don't I don't think it means anything. Right. Like it doesn't mean anything. Bijan Robinson is cooking dudes in one-on-one drills. I hope he is. I hope he is cooking linebackers and DBs and safeties. Like he better be, But it's air. Like you're not like no one's really trying. It's training camp. Like no one's really putting in like 100% effort. Like I hope Zay Flowers is cooking them. Like he should be. He was a high draft pick, but like it doesn't matter until this is just what I've learned. Maybe it's just like I just old man side of me. I don't give a shit what you do in training camp until the games start.
Nope.
And like I don't care what you do until week 11, week 12, whatever. Like that training camp doesn't matter. It's all for show. Like it's all walkthroughs for the most part. They do practice and they do tackle, but like it's really just getting the boys back out there and getting the juices flowing. And then, kickoff comes. But like Lamar Jackson, go back to that always. Like, cool, dude. You have an MVP in the regular season. You're an electrifying player, one of the top 5 talents in the league when you're doing your thing, but you haven't done shit in the playoffs. You can have all these dope throws to OBJ in preseason and training camp and everything, but like, are you guys gonna do that continuously in the regular season? Going over the Steelers. Shout out to Joey Porter Jr. The catch that Pickens did have was super dope. I will say that. But I think that type of thing betters someone like Joey Porter Jr., who is getting good reviews so far from the beginning of the year and rookie mini camp and all that kind of stuff. It's early, but they need to go out and do it. Like go out and not make that mistake in the real game. So going up against Pickens, going up against a guy who's hopefully going to start climbing the rankings, one of the better receivers in the league. I think he will. But yeah, it doesn't matter until you now George Pickens, we saw him in training camp do it last year, and he did it in the regular season.
Yep.
So Joey Porter Jr., like, good coverage, but like, you got to do it in the regular season. So just like the blue white game, just like the spring games, I take nothing from that. Like I take nothing from like Drew Aller, Penn State's starting quarterback this year, was dog shit last spring. Like didn't do anything. They were like, he's not where we wanted to be at. he was a backup quarterback, and now he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. So, like, and then he got on the field week 1 and did his thing. So, training camp, preseason, all that stuff doesn't matter. It's just all that matters is what you do with starting week 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So now going over into the AFC South, what are your quick thoughts? And then we're going to end up diving more into the running back position itself. For anyone that doesn't know, the AFC South consists of the Texans, the Jags, the Titans, and the Colts. And while Steven's looking at that, I just want to say I don't think anything of Zay Flowers cooking the cornerbacks on the Ravens. Someone that watches the Ravens for years, the Ravens cornerbacks have sucked. So if you're cooking the Ravens cornerbacks, that is not saying shit, because then when he gets up against any of these top elite cornerbacks and you're like, where's Zay Flowers? Oh, he was cooking in training camp. That's not going to say anything. But what's up for you in the AFC South?
So, all right, starting with the Texans, this roster, like if I'm looking at just like the start on what this depth chart says right now, it doesn't look that bad.
No,
it does not, like offense and defense. Now you're 2 deep and 3 deep. That's obviously what, overall matters. That's going to help you through the regular season and on to the playoffs, get you to that point.
Yeah.
Like looking at just their starters right now, obviously CJ Stroud is going to be the guy, and, we'll see how that goes. Damian Pierce at running back, Robert Woods, John Mechie, Dalton Schultz, Laramie Tunsil still there, rocking the left tackle spot. Shaq Mason at right guard. That's a big thing. Juice Scruggs, Penn State guy. Shout out to Juice Scruggs. Will Anderson on the defense. Sheldon Rankins in the middle. Yeah. Christian Kirksey at linebacker. Denzel Perriman. They got a lot of like big names, guys who like we've seen produce. Shaquille Griffin, Jimmy Ward, Derek Stingley Jr. Like there's a lot of names on that.
They have roster. Yeah,
they have a lot of names. Now you go to like they're 2 deep and they're 3 deep, and I don't know who these guys are. Right? That's I'm just saying, like that's just how it goes. Like that's why they're the Texans, and that's why no one has any confidence in them whatsoever.
Yeah.
So like they won, I think, like 3 games last year, 2 or 3 games. Yeah. Like, if you win 5 games, is that an improvement? Like, I guess. Obviously, technically it is. If you're just going by basic math, yeah, you won more games than you did the year before, so that's an improvement. But, 5 games, I think, would be 5 or 6 games. I guess it depends on CJ Stroud. Obviously, every team depends on the quarterback. But, like, those rookie quarterbacks, can they get the ball rolling, quickly? Go to the Colts. Quarterback is going to be interesting for them because you got Gardner Minshew, who like is he really going to be your starting quarterback? I mean, who did we talk about last week? Brock Purdy. Like, come on, dog. You're really going to you're really going to give the keys to the car to Brock Purdy?
Yep.
And you're really going to
give the keys to Gardner Minshew as the one on the depth chart. Okay.
Yeah, and you're gonna give the keys to Gardner Minshew and like be like that guy when you drafted Anthony Richardson. The thing about it is like I would, if you have a guy like Anthony Richardson, why would you not start him?
Yeah,
like you picked him up when you did. Like I know these guys are gonna be projects, but like the upside, what Gardner Minshew is gonna get you.
Like, he lost his games,
bro. He's not gonna win you a Super Bowl. Like, he's not going to win your division. I would say Anthony Richardson has a better chance of doing so just because his potential is through the roof compared to Gardner Minshew. As Michael Jordan said, the ceiling is the floor, or whatever he said that one time. I don't even know. But then we'll see. They got Quentin Nelson. He's still on offense. Michael Pittman Jr., Jonathan Taylor. We all know what's going on there, or don't know what's going on there. So we'll see how that goes. Looking at their defense, Kwity Paye, DeForest Buckner, again, another defense with some names, but not much confidence in them. The Jaguars might run away with it, maybe, because they got a loaded offense, I think.
Hell yes.
Lawrence, you're 3. Like if he keeps taking the next step, he's climbing those ladders. Travis Etienne, if he's healthy continuously, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley's back, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, like that's a really good core there. Obviously, You got to keep him upright so he can make those throws. But and their defense was really solid last year as well. Not they got to get a step better, but I think the Jaguars are going to be a team that I don't even know really, might be like 10, 11 wins.
Yeah.
But you're playing some pretty shitty teams in your conference, so that's going to be some not automatic wins, obviously, but like better chances to win. You go to the Titans. Who the hell knows what the Titans are going to do? Who the hell knows?
I don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
It listed as Tannehill, which I obviously, but they have Malik Willis and Will Levis. You got Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I mean, great. It's a good name, but like, who the hell's going to accurately throw the ball? I don't know. So, and their defense, whatever. Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons has been around for a while. Kevin Byard, Amani Hooker, again, got some names in there, but if you're asking me who am I going to pick, I'm going to go Jags. I think that's an easy one. I think it's probably one of the easier divisions to pick. Mm-hmm. Just because the Jags, they made it that far. They went to the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other two teams, the Texans and the Colts are just dog shit. So they'll be drafting the top 10 next year again too.
Yeah. So I'm going to, of course, I'm going with the Jags, but I don't really know. I put a sports bet. This is why I'm having a tough time. I put a future sports bet on the Jags to win the AFC South, the Chiefs to win their division, and I think like the Bengals to win the North. But I put it on the Bengals to help my season tickets for the Ravens that, all right, if it doesn't go well, I can use reverse psychology. But in terms of this, I think it's going to be the Jags. The Texans look good. I don't know what the Titans are going to do. I don't know why DeAndre Hopkins will choose to go to the Titans. That's the worst place you could ever go
dude. That's a
as
tough
a wide
call.
receiver. But that's who I have. I'm going to go with the Jags. What we're also going to do is I'm going to pull an audible for today because we have other things to talk about and we still have a lot of time. Next week, we're going to talk about the running back position. So next week will be the running back position. The week after that, it'll be the quarterback, wide receiver, then the tight end, and then the wide receiver. So by the end of August, we should have everything filled out. Most people don't end up doing their fantasy drafts until later on. And also everyone knows the tight end position, so we can combine 2 weeks. So if anyone was listening to this and they were excited for it, just wait another week for that. I want to end up finishing this up and give us enough time on the what you got. So what you got?
Do you have something big?
I have two things.
Okay, go ahead.
So I can go first. So the first one is, and I think it's a brilliant decision what he did. Johnny Manziel opened a sports bar in Texas A&M.
Really?
And yes. And the reason why I'm like
wait, in college, just in College Station, or like associated with the university, or what?
No,
you can't do that, right?
Huh?
I mean, you can't associate with the university, right?
No, it's not associated with the university. It's like down there in the area.
He's got the Netflix thing coming out, right?
Yes.
Him, the Florida team,
go ahead,
which is going to be, bro. If people like, if college football fans want to like see something ridiculous, like that team, and Penn State's offensive line coach was the starting right tackle on that team for 2 years. And they asked him about it. He's like, no, I'm not going to be in that. Like, no comment. Like, if you want to see some shit, that's some shit.
Yeah. But Johnny Manziel is opening his own bar and nightclub in College Station this fall. It's going to be called Johnny Manziel's Money Bar. But the crazy thing is, you forget how famous and popular he was.
Oh my god, dude! And that was he won it my junior year, and like every guy was like, "Oh my god, he's one of us."
Yes.
Every non-athlete walking around campus, white or black, was like, "Oh, he is," especially the white dudes. He's like, "Oh my god, he's us."
Yes,
bro. He was like my size.
I know,
but just dogging dudes.
Do no wrong.
No, dude.
And Mike Evans, because I think it's was Mike Evans too.
Bro, he was dogging kids in college at like 5'10", $175.
Bro,
dogging kids. Man.
And the crazy part is when they talk about the backup quarterbacks behind him are always crazy.
Who's behind him?
So it wasn't Kyler, but there was a backup quarterback behind him that was decent that went to another school.
No, but Kyler was too early.
I think it's just show me.
Yo, that was my, I think, junior junior or senior year of college, bro, it was nuts because he was just a regular looking white dude. And you're
Yeah,
like, this dude is slinging the rock in a major university in Texas. And he was a like unbelievable, one of the best high school quarterbacks ever coming out of that
yeah,
state. And he was dogging kids
yes,
left and right. Oh man.
yes.
Oh,
No, but so they said it was like Kenneth Wade and then Matt Jokel. I felt like it was somebody else. But the other thing I wanted to end up touching on is, yo, I went fishing this weekend. I go fishing a good amount, but my brother and I went fishing, and he always told me like, yo, Chris, we're gonna have to get in the water. I was like, all right, cool. So like we got our Crocs, bro. It wasn't a little bit of water we got in. We were like waist deep in like
nah,
in the creek and everything. So
no,
after this, I'll send you a picture. But we probably caught each. He caught maybe 4 fish. I caught five. It
damn,
wasn't huge fish, but I was like,
still.
shit, we are like in the water, not like halfway, not ankle. It was like waist deep
Were
to the
you like
point
fly
we were
fishing or what?
no. So we weren't
Just,
fly fishing. We were
just
like
some regular
legit
shit.
regular fishing. And then you would just be standing there. We would look at each other. And we're like, "Did you just touch my leg?" And it was
Get the fuck. What is that?
something
That's
touched your
funny.
leg, but we can't see the bottom of the water because also it just rained a lot like the days before.
True.
So everything is like dirt and brown and stuff like that. But it was easy. It was chill. End up doing that. But those are my two. Wanted to get those in. What you got?
Um, I'm just really pumped for fall camp to start today. Like I love the NFL. I love watching it, obviously. But like, there's just anyone who knows me knows that college football is just what I do and just
Mm-hmm.
what I pay attention to the most. I'm just so pumped for this season. I've never
Yeah.
been more pumped or more nervous for a season to start because of the expectations for Penn State this year and how high they're going to be ranked
Mm-hmm.
compared to previous years. And like just like the squad we have, we're going to put on the field. I'm just super pumped about. So there's some good hype videos that came out for Penn State football that I'll post out throughout August. Also, wife is going to New York this weekend with the daughter to go see a
Okay.
friend. So they're making the girls trip out of that Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
me and the little homie are going up to State College on Saturday for the day.
Oh,
Um, we'll go play some golf. I'll take him out to the golf course, go get some lunch with the fam, and then go spend the day at my uncle's house with my cousins and everything. And then come home, late Saturday night. But yeah, looking forward to that. Should be good weather. So pumped to get
for
up
sure.
there. We usually, we see my family. Obviously, you've been up there. We see my family during the day on Saturday, but it's usually not, it's for maybe like an hour total throughout the day. So
Mm-hmm.
it'd be good to go up and see my family. It's just the fishing one. Oh shit. Oh my god. My guys are out there, bro. That backpack is gone.
I know.
Jeez. That's tough. Oh no, you're not gonna catch me out there. No, sir. You're good. Good. Dude. That's
Oh,
disgusting.
shoot.
No, that's all I got though. Taking the boy up to State College this weekend and see the fam.
So we'll catch you guys next week. Next week we have fantasy stuff. We'll touch on the NFC South. And until next time, we out. Hall of
Peace.
Fame game tomorrow.